A very warm welcome to all of you joining us from Bhutan and around the world. My name is Sharab Doji and I'll be your host for today's very special virtual talk, Building Gelephu Mindfulness City, where innovation meets mindfulness. Now, at this point, I'm sure most of you all have heard about the Gelephu Mindfulness City because it has been making waves in headlines and in conversations. And I'm sure maybe even a few family dinner debates and office debates, so to say. But today, this talk will go beyond the bus because this conversation will dive into the how, the why, and the vision behind all of it, the vision behind Gelephu Mindfulness City. Before we dive into the heart of it, let's give credit to where it is due. The event is brought to you by the Bhutan Global Mindfulness and MICE Holdings. Now, BGMM isn't just another organizer. They are a joint venture between Druk Holdings and Investments PTE Limited and G9 Investment Limited, an international firm based in Singapore. The BGMM is bringing Bhutan's deep-rooted mindfulness philosophy to global audience, and this is done not just through retreats and big events with many people, but also through screens like you're watching the program right now, the session right now, through platforms, through experiences that connect people from all walks of life. And today's talk is part of that larger vision. A Bhutan that leads not just in gross national happiness, but in reimagining what human-centered development may actually look like. So, yes, this is no ordinary talk, and fittingly, our guest today is no ordinary leader. It is my absolute honor to welcome Dasho Dr. Lotay Tshering, the first governor of the Gelephu Mindfulness City. Now, many of you may know him as the former Prime Minister of Bhutan. Some of you might know him as a surgeon, and a few of you might remember him from hospital rounds early in the morning. But today he joins us wearing a new hat. As the Governor of GMC, Dr. Lotay is now steering most of the ambitious and soulful urban development projects in the region. He is responsible for everything from infrastructure to policy, from vision to values, all the while keeping mindfulness at the core of it all. So whether you are here for policy insights, philosophical ponderings, or to hear how Dr. Lotay balances practicing medicine and managing a city, we've got you covered. So Tasho, thank you for joining us. Let's dive in. I was talking about how you practice medicine, and we have heard and seen it even before when you were the Prime Minister. You kept on practicing medicine. You are still doing it. So how are you managing this task?
To begin with, thank you, Sharaf. In fact, before talking about GMC or my practice, I wanted to put on the record that I have been following you and been appreciating what you're doing both at the professional front as well as at personal level. I've been following you since your SAMSI days to BBS days to now with whatever undertaking you are with. So good, keep up.
Thank you.
And BGMM, in fact, when I first heard this word BGMM, I thought it was somebody who was very smart to create an agency called BGMM to be coming up as we build GMC. I thought that was very smart. But now I realized that it's a formal joint venture through DHI. So thank you, BGMM, for this opportunity. I would like to make a small correction in your intro, saying that I'm there doing everything and as the authority or responsibility to bring about everything in the whole GMC governance, which is not the case. GMC has many moving parts. GMC has few dozen work streams open. Some work streams, I don't even know what's happening because there's absolutely no way, it's simply not possible for a human being to know everything. Because in the name of a city, His Majesty is actually creating a new country. Creating a new country based on mechanisms that is not there in practice. We cannot copy a template from other systems. Therefore, I know my work stream. My work stream is local governance. We have currently about 60,000 Bhutanese being GMC resident now.
Yes.
Now, I think to answer why and how I'm managing my time between GMC governance and my surgical practice, that is a very easy question to answer.
Yes.
When I get to do what I love to do, I think it seems like asking somebody how much he or she enjoys when he or she is on the best menu, the favorite dish that he or she likes to eat.
Yes.
So this is something I love to do.
Yes.
I call it my de-stressor in life. When I don't get to go to the hospital, when I don't get to operate on patients, I feel sad.
Yes.
I feel nervous. I feel stressed out.
Yes.
When I'm stressed out with work, if I go to hospital, spend a day or two there, I feel relaxed.
That's
So that's my de-stressor.
Yes.
So I have to do what I have to do otherwise, but on weekends, Thursdays regularly and Saturdays, I spend my days in Gelephu Hospital.
Yes. I mean, you have been the Prime Minister during the COVID times, most stressful time as a Prime Minister, and now you are shouldering one of the biggest responsibilities as the first governor of a city which is up and coming, which is part of a grander vision of His Majesty the King. So, how's life been since you're announced as the governor?
Good. Actually, this is a very good topic to talk about. I never got to talk about my feeling during COVID times, during my governance times, and now, of course, I would like to acknowledge and thank Bhutanese people for giving us that opportunity. Getting to govern a country under His Majesty's leadership is absolutely an honor, but getting to govern the country during COVID-19 was, I thought, a very unique opportunity.
Yes.
During which, of course, many would think many things, but for me, singularly, the outstanding lessons I learned was to that opportunity as we got to work with His Majesty very closely.
Yes.
To hear His Majesty at times of real need.
Yes.
We heard His Majesty's inner calling for this nation, how he was so concerned about Bhutanese and Bhutan as a whole.
Yes.
So I think while we were battling the pandemic, we got the opportunity to know our leadership.
Yes.
I think knowing our leadership was the best outcome of COVID-19 for Bhutan.
Yes.
So yes, out of the experience, now we get to carry on. Whatever we do on daily basis, it is directly linked to how the situation was during COVID time and what all His Majesty mentioned in informal setup during COVID pandemics and lockdowns. Everything is relatable. So that's the greatest honor that I always feel about.
What about now as a governor?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even as a governor, whatever we do, whatever His Majesty talks about governing or GMC, the vision, what we are doing now, what we did yesterday, everything is relatable to what His Majesty told us. As simple as His Majesty repeatedly told us that COVID, while it is a pandemic, it is a life-threatening condition, but His Majesty said COVID will bring opportunities to everyone in the world. It depends on whether you will be able to see through that window or not. His Majesty again repeatedly said that while we have to be mindful about lives now, but be very critically sharp on the opportunities. And as COVID recedes, we, Bhutan, must walk through a new normal path. Bhutan cannot go back to pre-COVID times. And this is a new normal path now. So whole Bhutan, all of us are talking about GMC, mindfulness, two system in one country. And that is the new normal. New normal path for Bhutan.
We'll come back to the two system in one country later during the talk. But then now with GMC, we have a full-fledged board. We also have some investors. We also have a lot of big internationally reputed companies who are part of the project. We know all this, but then can you hear more? What's the latest on GMC right now?
GMC, as we all know, is a greenfield project, a project that is unprecedented, not done anywhere else in the world. So we don't have a template that we can cut, paste, and copy from. That is one fun of GMC. Second, since it's a greenfield project, since we are trying to bring into practice what His Majesty has envisioned, so there are a lot of things happening every day, or whatever is happening is new. It's new not just in Bhutan, it's new in the world. The airport construction works will start by June, July. So I need to vacate the area for airport works to begin. Therefore, almost everyone, they're all very excited.
Now, we talked about the international airport. You said June, July, the construction works will begin. Maybe timeline on when the airport will be commissioned and what sort of dates are we expecting?
Of course, the starting point is coming July in 2 months' time from now. And finishing time as of today is 17 December 2029. So within 5 years, it must be complete.
Yes.
So that's the timeline.
Yes.
But again, when we say airport, many people would have traveled around the world, so they would have seen many airports. So they might feel that that it would be like any other airport.
Yes.
This is a very special airport. That's the only place where we can naturally have an international airport in Bhutan through landscape.
Yes.
Then, two, it is designed by one of the best airport designers in the world,
Yes.
Nako. And then it is now co-designed, I would say, and then implemented by, again, one of the best airport managers in the world, Changi Airport Authority.
Yes.
So that way, we have the special element. The other special element of the airport is the designer of the terminal is being designed by BIG, Big Angles himself. Again, iconic structure, blending with the background, with all Bhutanese architectural design included in that. Third special element of the airport is blending with the nature. The designer is not touching the landscape. The rivers will flow as it is. Therefore, it brings that much challenges to the technical group. So that I think it is going to be definitely unique for sure, but it will be one of the best airports physically to look at. Then the software element, the management part, the efficiency part, the circulation, the passenger flow, I think it will be one of the best.
Yes, we look forward to that. The airport is scheduled to complete, the first phase is scheduled to complete in 2029, December 17, 2029, something to look forward to. One question that I received on the airport is, we'll see an influx of a lot of migrant workers. Any thought on that?
While we have to have people working on the infrastructure, whatever number we need, we must have.
Yes.
Now, it may not be influx, we may not be mad rush. What will happen is GMC has already adopted common laws.
Yes.
GMC has already adopted 18 common laws and 10 financial regulations of Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
So there, of the 18 laws, we have Foreign Workers Management Act of Singapore is now in effect in GMC. So one will have to follow that.
Yes.
So therefore, standards are very high. Standards will be very high. Whoever comes there to work will also get to enjoy those provisions of those acts. Number one. Number two, skill base. It will not be a place where you want to try, test out, go to YouTube, learn something and do it at the field.
Yes.
So it will be tested, skill qualified.
Yes.
So even for whoever wants to work there, if they are already aware of that, if they can skill themselves up, they can sharpen their skills now, the opportunities are many. Then on the airport, on a little different note, many people, Bhutanese people have realized that because I get a lot of calls.
Yes.
After His Majesty's address during last National Day, His Majesty spent a certain number of minutes dedicatedly on the airport. His Majesty said that even His Majesty will take his say and same to the airport, even if it is to lay a piece of brick.
Yes.
And His Majesty said that is going to be people's project. So after that, I received a lot of calls.
Yes.
I received a couple of calls from contractors. Many farmers called me. Some bureaucrats called me. Some of my friends who are in civil service called me, saying they would like to come and contribute their annual leave. Many villagers called me to say, we will contribute seasonal vegetables. Is it time? One man called me to say that he will come and work for 90 days. One contractor called me to say that he has 3 excavators. If I can fuel it, he will let the excavator work for the airport.
Yes.
So those things are very, very encouraging. These are genuine gestures to make this airport a real people's project. So I thought that was a unique factor.
Genuine gestures, something that was evident from the COVID-19 pandemic, from reporting from the field. I have seen it, been there and done it and seen it. And that I think that's something that makes us, what makes us Bhutanese in essence. My next question, Governor, we have seen smart cities popping up all around the world. Of course, they are also talking about digital technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, even sustainability is on the agenda in all these smart cities. What sets Gelephu Mindfulness City apart?
Any city that is being formed, framed, planned from now on will have the provisions of smart city elements. There's no doubt about that. Zooming out a little bit on this, there are a couple of unique features which no other cities currently has, of course, will no other cities can have in future. The rail innovation, when we say innovation, Many people tend to think about innovating how the window frame should be, innovating what should be the battery model of an EV car should look like, innovating maybe a smarter element in your phone camera.
Yes.
Those are innovations, no doubt.
Yes.
But His Majesty, being His Majesty the King, his innovation is different.
Yes.
He has innovated, realizing what he wanted to do,
Yes.
realizing what he should do to make Bhutan relevant in 21st century,
Yes.
and then relevant forever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably His Majesty must have gone through a lot of thinking, consultations, given a lot of serious inputs on this. So what His Majesty has innovated is the two system, one country. That is the biggest innovation. Not many people tend to think about this as an innovation.
Yes.
So two system, one country. We have the Royal Government of Bhutan system and GMC system that are totally autonomous. No country in the world has this system. Well, we can say Hong Kong, Macau, all this, but these are political offshoots.
Yes.
These are totally designed differently. This is a strategy.
Yes.
So that is one. Second, think of the announcement that are coming. Land tokenizations, one we talked about, is unique. No nation has done this at this scale. One or two agencies, one or two real estate management systems must have managed this, but not at this national scale. Third, see how His Majesty is leveraging maybe cryptocurrencies. How His Majesty is leveraging that.
Yes.
Suddenly, cryptocurrency being very energy intensive, and Bhutan championing on green hydropower. Suddenly, His Majesty has sparked the flame of green cryptocurrency, and then converting that as a strategic reserve. That's innovation.
Yes.
So to talk about this, about the governance, how many such cities or such initiatives have not reached its full-blown intention? Or rather, how many of such initiatives in the world have failed? What are the failure points? Biggest failure point, I would say, is the leadership. There's no continuity in leadership. For GMC's case, His Majesty is there.
Yes.
When we say leadership, I realize that there are a couple of qualities that must be there in a leader. One who should be far-sighted, visionary. One who should have the intellectual capacity to bring the vision into practice, implement the vision. Somebody who should have the authority to do what he wants to do. And after having vision, capability to implement, and the authority to do, which our king has. Fourth factor, which is equally, if not more important, is acceptability of their leader.
Yes.
His Majesty is loved by everyone. Every Bhutanese, whatever he says, whatever he does, is unconditionally, that there need not be any doubt on that. So all these four factors being in him, this is the best opportunity for us, the best window for Bhutan and the Bhutanese. No leaders in the world have these four qualities without any doubt.
Yes.
This is the best window for him,
Yes.
best window for us.
Yes.
So that is one factor for GMC. The other reason why such initiatives have failed in the world or are not doing so well is the political ideology differences. Having been a politician myself, I know how it works. How much ever you want to think, how much ever you want to try and align your principles with the other political parties' thinking process, it doesn't work.
Yes.
With that, the democracy doesn't work on that manner. So whatever one government starts, if their government cannot come back, more or less understood that there will be some challenges, there will be some differences. And on an initiative like GMC, that cannot happen.
Yes. Yes.
So for GMC, that is totally out of bound. Any election, whatever election that happens in Thimphu, will have zero impact on GMC. So that, again, is a very, very important factor. The third important factor is the governance. Who is governing GMC? Board.
Yes.
GMCA, the authority. Who all are there in the authority? Of course, His Majesty sits as executive chair, but then who are the members? Domain experts. They are headhunted from the world. No nation is governed by domain experts from the world. Every nation is governed by people of that nationality.
Yes.
Bhutan is governed by Bhutanese. India is governed by Indians. Singapore is governed by Singaporeans. But GMC is governed by domain experts from the world.
Yes.
So we want to focus on the digital side. You headhunt the best digital person and let him govern it.
Yes.
On the investment side, You headhunt the best investor who has all the newer thinking, who believes in all the emerging technologies, and let him govern. So that what he does, what he talks, will be aligned with the generation that is just growing, what everybody calls that Gen Z.
Yes.
So these are the special elements of GMC. So therefore, even if you want to take a microscope and look around, there'll be no failure factor for GMC.
Yes. Something that is built on strong foundation, which is be built, made to last. Quickly moving on, the soul of the city is mindfulness. It's there in the name, Gelephu Mindfulness City. I'm curious what mindfulness actually means in terms of city planning and development.
The word mindfulness in GMC, there's no one written document on that. But I've realized that many people tend to link mindfulness to meditation, mindfulness to being kind, being compassionate.
Yes.
They'll tend to link it to meditation, prayer, chanting of all these religious prayers. Well, that is definitely mindfulness, but I think the word mindfulness in GMC means far beyond that.
Yes, sir.
And it can also be very simple at times. I think it means to be mindful about what comes on your table, what comes on your plate. Whatever we eat, whatever comes on your plate, humanity was very clear, said it has to be organic. You should be mindful about the quality of air that you breathe in. You have to be mindful about the environment. You have to be mindful about the needs of the wildlife around there. You have to be mindful about the nature. Those are the special elements of GMC, which no city in the world has, as you will know. GMC currently has about 85% forest cover.
Yes.
And His Majesty intends to keep it like that. Name one city in the world where 85% is naturally forested. Nowhere.
Yes.
And GMC will.
Yes.
As of today, it is already being highlighted as the most green city in the world. Imagine this after 50 years, after 100 years. It will be a shining star by itself.
Yes.
So these are the qualities of the salient features of GMC when we talk about mindfulness.
Yes. So basically, mindful prosperity in this is embedded into cities' policy, economy, and daily life. So that's how we are looking at GMC. Of course, mindfulness doesn't really mean slowing down progress. In fact, Gelephu is said to be a hub for innovation and technology. So how do we bring about that balance where innovation and technology do not really compete with each other, but they just sort of complement each other? So how will that aspect be taken care at GMC?
I mean, this is one thing that we need to rethink. Most of the Bhutanese tend to think tradition and modernity cannot go side by side. A country cannot grow without compromising on your traditional values. For that matter, many of us even were told and heard when we hear lectures on gross national happiness. It sometimes we can mean to be happy with less. Which is never the case. Which is never the case. No human being can be happy with less. Let me be very frank on this. No human being will be happy or can be successful in life without being materialistic. These are fundamental factors for a human being to progress in life. So having said that, GMC is an initiative by His Majesty that is trying to open the economic window of GNH. GNH has a big economic model to it.
Yes.
It was never used. GNH was more or less used as a talking point. We never could utilize this. We never could bring it out in practice to put the economic model to gross national happiness. When we talk about GMC being a mindful city, but GMC will have a lot of foreigners coming there. Target population of GMC is about 1 million. Currently, Bhutanese are hardly about 0.7 to 0.8 million.
Yes.
So even in future, maybe at the most 10-20% can be Bhutanese. Rest 60-70% of GMC population may not be Bhutanese.
Yes.
So in that case, everybody, even locally in Gelephu, I get these questions. What will happen to our traditional values? Will our traditional values be diluted and disappear one day? It need not be the case. Because ultimately, you must ask yourself, what are the core values of a Bhutanese? That's awesome. That is the core value. How do we express? How do we implement that? Tilam Namja. If you keep asking yourself what is Sawasum, core values of a Bhutanese, and how do you practice that? How do you implement that through Dilam Namja? When I say Dilam Namja, it's not the scarf that you wear, the manner you bow down. It means the way you sit down. I was so impressed when the host came down to receive me in company. That was absolutely not necessary, but that shows Dilam Namja. They thought it is necessary, not for Dr. Lotay, but to honor the former Prime Minister. So these are the values that we have. That should not be compromised, should not be diluted.
Yes.
Rest, I think, is okay. This is what I wear, and this is very traditional. It's hand woven. It's okay if the material is not hand woven. I'm also perfectly fine if we put a breather here and a zipper here. And we can have in Gelephu is hot. His Majesty kept saying that we must explore modern materials to stitch this.
Yes.
Maybe dry fit, a good breather. It's okay. Those things I think must evolve. We must let change happen.
Yes. So there's something maybe designers out there need to think about and explore. Tradition is embracing modernity. So yes, zooming into Gelephu itself, we talked about 18 common law from Singapore and 10 financial regulations from Abu Dhabi. How are people accepting it? You have been there, we've been walking places, talking to people. So what sort of acceptance is there?
To answer your question, we have 18 common laws from Singapore that are now enacted through law number 1,
Yes.
applications laws of 2024. That's the law number 1 in GMC, in which within that we have 18 laws from Singapore and 10 financial regulations of Abu Dhabi. But these are there. They will be applied on all foreign companies and individuals who would like to do business with GMC.
Yes.
But for Bhutanese who are already there and companies who are already there, they'll continue to do business as it is. And then gradually they'll evolve.
Yes.
They'll gradually transit to GMC standard.
Yes.
For a company, they're registered with Bhutan Companies Act for now.
Yes.
They'll continue to do that. And they should also know, slowly there'll be awareness being created. What are the requirements? We'll let them know.
Yes.
GMC has already set up a company registration process.
That's all.
So then gradually our local companies will be asked to transit to the GMC standard, and they'll gradually transit. Many will jump to transit because there are a lot of advantages.
Yes.
Many will not qualify because the standards required are very stringent.
Yes.
So therefore, there's no need for Bhutanese to worry.
Yes.
They get to do what they're doing now. As and when time matures, as and when time comes, we'll let them know.
Yes.
So there's no real worry. There's people.
Yes.
Many people are not even aware of these laws being enacted in GMC, and there's no real worry for them to be aware about it now.
Yes, it will come with time.
It will come with time.
For the residents living in Gelephu, you talked about some 60,000 Gelephu residents, and we are targeting some 1 million population when the city becomes a fully fledged city. For them, public spaces is really important, and I've heard this from one of the designers, Sabiak Ingalls, during one of the presentations prior to the National Day last year, how public spaces will be designed in such a way that people feel at home, they feel part of the nature, and also what sort of public spaces are being developed so that it is designed to encourage stillness, reflection, and deeper connection to self, because at the end of the day, ultimate growth is the growth within. So
true. I mean, a lot of how comfortable you feel in that place depends on two things. One, the hardware element, how the city is designed, how the buildings are designed, how the streets are designed. So that is the hardware part. On the hardware part, it will be as public friendly as possible, as environment friendly as possible. The designers are even going to the details of measuring the carbon footprint of the building materials.
yes, sir.
So currently we know steel, cement, all these are not so carbon negative. So that's why in all the presentations you may have heard that the buildings will be constructed based on locally sourced construction material. As far as possible, it will be wood or bamboo based. So these are all special elements of the construction material.
Yes.
Even in terms of structure, it will be low rise, low density. And even the housing pattern, you may have noticed in Biak Angel's presentation,
Yes,
that as the housing structures and architectural design goes towards the foothill, from the foothill towards the Bhutan-India border side, the buildings become a little taller.
yes,
So these are the special elements. And then there are nodal hoods where every village of every community will have its own nodal services where it will all be available within some 15-20 minutes walk.
Yes.
And walking 15-20 minutes to avail the service for those essential municipal services would almost be mandatory that the resident will not realize.
Yes.
These are the special elements. And at one point in time, all transportation will be environmentally friendly, whatever evolving mechanics that will be relevant. As of today is EV, electric vehicles. And with time, we never know, it may be hydrogen-driven vehicles, it may be eVTOL, vertical landing system.
Yes.
So those are the elements that is already there. We are also defining the car ownership, where if we have a very efficient public transportation system, we will make sure the policy will make sure that the residents will feel far more comfortable and convenient not owning a car.
Yes.
Because whenever you need a car, wherever you want to go a car, it's available and affordable. So why even own a car? So car ownership ratio will be one of the best in the world.
Yes.
So those are the special elements of hardware part. Now on the software element, software, the do's and don'ts, the regulations, the laws. Laws will be stringent, strict, so that GMC will be one of the best places on earth. GMC will be cleanest, safest places on earth. So the software element is what I'm focusing on now as a local governor.
That's Dasho, what about energy? When it comes to energy, of course, it's going to be sustainable, natural energy. We have heard about the Temple Dam, Sunkosh hydropower dam, and then we'll also have solar power. So if you could expand on that.
Yeah. Energy, no initiatives can be successful without having abundant energy. Now, as time evolves, it's not just enough to have abundant energy. The nature and source of the energy is equally important. So for us, we are blessed with this availability of abundant green renewable hydropower system. Of course, solar is what RGOB, Royal Government of Bhutan, is exploring also, and in GMC we are exploring that. And His Majesty has commanded to explore the availability or possibility of geothermal energy. So these are the easy facts that we are exploring. Hydropower is one assured given source of energy that we have. Sunkosh, when you say Temple Dam, that is the Sunkosh Dam that we always had. Almost 5,000 megawatts.
Yes.
That will be one game changer for GMC.
Yes.
But then there are many other medium-sized hydropower plants that are being planned, designed within GMC area. So other unique factor for GMC is to have abundant green renewable energy.
Yes.
So that will be one main factor where GMC will be definitely a carbon negative country.
One of the questions that I received when I was promoting the talk was Lamazingkala. It falls at the very western end of the GMC border. The person told me that it's being neglected for so long. So he was wanting to know how the GMC might spill over into Lamazingkala. If you have any thoughts on that?
Geographically, for Bhutanese, we have the whole Sarvan Dzongkhak with 12 Geoks and Gelephu under GMC. And from the eastern side, we have 2 Geoks, Pankar and Nangla from Panmang Tungkhak. And from the western side, we have the 3 Geoks of Thamizunga Tungkhak, geographically under GMC area. Currently, master plan is being planned. We are calling it phase 1 in and around Mao River. So these are on the right and left bank. There are 4-5 Geoks like Chuzegang, Sejong, Gelephu Geo, Gelephu Thong, Samtini Geo. These are the areas that is receiving maximum focus. But then with time, there will be more focus being given to the peripheries. For Lamizingka, it will be one unique chapter within GMC because the area itself is beautiful. There's a big hydropower dam coming. Sunkosh will not be like Punachanchu or Kholongchu or Dojilung. Will not just be a place where you generate hydropower. As you use the water flow to generate hydropower, there will be 110 other value additions that will happen with hydropower project. Therefore, Lamizingka will be real Lamizi. It will be really, really blessed lake of the gods. And then we have Phipsu Park right next to Lamizingka. So then Phipsu Park, if you analyze the wildlife sanctuaries in the world, Phipsu will stand very tall.
Yes.
By the quality of the forest that we have, by the quality of natural wildlife that we have. It's not curated, it's natural. So nowadays, the clock has turned 360 degrees around. Everything is going back to nature base. And Phipsus and Manas wildlife on the eastern end, these are wildlife reserves, national reserves, parks, that actually is of very, very high quality in terms of its content. Even from within GMC, I personally feel Hamidzinka will be one very, very interesting place for all Bhutanese to keep a close eye on.
Let's. Someone from the Bhutan Early Childhood Education and Development Association, she basically wants to ask how associations like her can be part of the grander GMC vision.
I get this question many times. One thing, we Bhutanese have the habit of waiting for opportunities.
Yes.
We Bhutanese have the habit of waiting for someone to tell you what you must be doing. So I think we must change. Well, that will happen. That is happening. What you are doing now, thanks to BGMM, this is one of the main platforms.
Yes.
One of the many platforms, rather. So how can they contribute to GMC, or how can GMC benefit them? It means the same.
Yes.
Please follow us.
Yes.
Study us. Study our needs, and then position themselves accordingly or appropriately. I'm sure institutions like early childhood education will definitely be a big chapter in GMC. No organization, institution can do without a very good, efficient early childhood education system. Something that's very close to my heart.
Yes.
Because while we have done what we could do, but I still feel that we have not done enough, or we are not doing enough. There's no enough plan to take care of early childhood education's real need.
Yes.
If you divert our resources to early childhood care, early childhood education, in the first 8-9 formative years of their child, subsequently is going to be very easy. Subsequently, we need not spend much. So we could divert most of our resources to early childhood education, and then let the child grow naturally. Those first 8-10 years is very, very important.
GMC, at the end of the day, it's all about it's being designed with the future in mind. But on the other hand, we, Bhutan, have deep-rooted traditions, crafts, and way of life. So how will the new city support both traditional livelihoods and modern industries at the same time?
If we can draw a line, or if you can separate the two, then it's easier to understand.
Yes.
Somebody who is championing on arts and crafts need not be the digital man himself.
Yes.
It should be the system that designs accordingly, where both traditional arts and crafts can thrive in a modern digital world. I think this should not be difficult. This should be preserved, I would say, because what is evolving will evolve naturally. But what we have, if you don't take care of it, then it can just simply fall in the bigger cracks. So GMC will adopt adequate, obvious policies where we are able to maintain what we have, promote what we have, at the same time do not limit our progress in 20%.
One of the questions is that, would there be reserved professions for Bhutanese?
When His Majesty has gone to the extent of creating two systems in one country, if you analyze this two system, one country critically, His Majesty has actually devolved a lot of royal prerogative, authority to the board. His Majesty now do not govern GMC directly. Whatever His Majesty wants to do, board members may not agree. Don't you think so? So if His Majesty can go to that extent to bring about relevant changes that Bhutan needs, or the changes that Bhutan needs to make ourselves relevant in 21st century, Bhutanese must change our mindset also. Say, for example, certain jobs cannot be just reserved for Bhutanese for our traditional sake. Say, for example, in law and order, in policing system, just because it entails law and order doesn't really mean that we cannot incorporate or involve foreigners in that. So there's no written document on that. There's no stand on that. I personally feel it should be open to the best person that is possibly available. Even on the job, if that person meant job quota, well, it is to our interests to protect certain jobs for Bhutanese. It is to our interest that more Bhutanese be involved, but it cannot happen at the cost of skills.
Yes.
Primary quality or requirement or eligibility, number one, will be capability,
Yes.
skills,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge.
Yes.
I think that would be criteria number one.
Mm-hmm.
Without having the required skills and knowledge and ability, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think certain positions will just be reserved just because he or she is a Bhutanese.
Yes.
So it should be merit-based and competitive.
As someone asked, what about job market for youth in GMC after the project completion? I think time will tell. I think I won't let Dasho answer that. Someone was asking about available resources, how sustainable or durable our resources would be. Has there been any studies done or that are being done?
Good question. Remind me on this question. Maybe I would like to answer the previous question also on the job availabilities for Bhutanese
after the
youth.
project is complete.
Don't wait until the project is complete.
Mm-hmm.
GMC, as I was saying, is in the name of a city. A whole country is being created, both physically as well as from governance point of view.
Yes.
Don't wait.
Yes.
It will take decades. Initiation beginning has started.
Mm-hmm.
It will take decades. It will keep evolving.
Yes.
So start now. Think now. Follow the needs of GMC and then prepare yourself accordingly. Invest in yourself.
Yes.
Read about modern technology. Read about the 21st century skills needs. Maybe you can say, for example, let me be a little wild. Take a loan.
Yes.
Register with some online courses. Study. Whenever there's an interview, try.
Yes.
Because there'll be a lot of interviews. Selection will be fair. It will be competitive. Every time if you follow GMC's website or announcement portals that Bhutan has, maybe our local media system or Ministry of Labor portal system, there will be announcement that will keep coming out now.
Yes.
So then if you prepare yourself, if you are aware, you will be preparing for GMC's job market. It's evolving.
Yes.
Maybe lesser in number now, but with time, there'll be more and more jobs being created.
Yes.
And in terms of jobs, GMC will be a place like no other places on this planet that will also have all the modernities that are available in other cities. For a Bhutanese, it's more relatable to Australia, more relatable to Perth.
Yes.
Why are Bhutanese rushing to go to Australia, Canada, North American countries? Why?
Money.
Yeah, money, ultimately. We don't mind doing what we have to do or what we can do, as long as end of the day, if you're paid.
Yes.
GMC will have all these jobs.
Yes.
In terms of salary structure and wage rates, GMC will be second to none.
Yes.
But job will not come to you. You'll have to go and chase the job. So I would say my advice is don't wait for that.
Yes. I did have questions about how governments and business leaders and businesses, wellness leaders can contribute to GMC. I guess this response answers it. Don't wait for GMC to come to you. Rather, prepare yourself and come forward with your pitch. Something can happen. One of the question and apprehension or doubts that people have is, of course, it might be because of our lack of being able to see the vision. But then we do get to hear a lot of talk about, will it really be successful? So what sort of challenges do you see as the first governor?
It will be wrong on my part to say that there are no challenges. It will be wrong on my part to say that there are no failure points. But as I was saying, look at the unique features of GMC. Those unique features are the failure points that has crippled or that has challenged similar initiatives elsewhere. As I was saying, leadership, the governance, the hardware part, the software part, all these things will actually bring or assure success of GMC. Now, failure, number one risk that can limit the success of GMC is individual mindset.
Yes.
If you do not open up your mindset, if you do not position yourself appropriately, if you do not read, follow, and skill yourself appropriately, how much ever success GMC brings about, you will not be able to appreciate because you will not be so much benefited.
Yes.
When you don't get benefited, you will not be able to appreciate the success of others.
Yes. Yes.
You will appreciate only if you are benefited, and you will be benefited only if you are capable. So ultimately, I think one will have to gauge on your capability versus how much you will be earning from GMC. in terms of governance structure, in terms of newer special elements of GMC, the whole world is following GMC. Every investor, global leader that His Majesty comes in contact with, they get amazed with the idea.
Yes.
They have only appreciation and amazement with this idea. Why shouldn't Bhutanese be following this?
Yes.
From software element as small as making the airport a very essential infrastructure for GMC as people's project, to going all the way to taking a bold step to redefine land ownership through tokenization. So I personally feel it's only about a matter of time that GMC will be followed by every individual nation's institutions in the world. Maybe 20, 30 years from now, more academicians will come forward to study this. Because His Majesty has already prophesied, if you follow the last National Day celebration.
Yes.
His Majesty said that complex global problems can be solved with simple solutions.
Yes.
And these simple solutions can originate at times from small countries. So you don't really have to have a big name country to solve a big problem. Governance of a country is a big problem. We have no doubt about this. There is no easy solution to this currently.
Yes.
But these solutions can come from small countries. When you talk about GMC, every attention is being taken by the hardware part of it, the airport, the dam, the buildings, the monuments that we are going to build. These are important, no doubt about that. But these are drawing the required attention now. 10, 20 years from now, well, those will be a character for GMC. But special selling point, main spine of GMC, main attention that we can draw for all the bright academic minds will be the software element, the governance part of it. That is going to draw more attention because His Majesty made it very clear during National Day celebration that this is a diamond strategy. His Majesty took a lot of risks and created through this bold movement to create two systems in one country, but ultimately it must converge. See, His Majesty aptly called it diamond strategy. And through a very appropriate gesture, His Majesty made this gesture.
Yes.
Well, if you analyze this closely, look into it, zoom down on it, it is a very uneven diamond. It is not a very even convergence of RGOB system and a GMC system. What His Majesty meant is, if there are 4 conditions His Majesty has set for RGOB to change, educational system must change, governance structure must change, skilling system must change, and political system must evolve. If these fundamental factors are changed and evolved and transformed, then convergence must start. That doesn't mean GMC will come back to where we are today. RGOB will come to where GMC is then. So it's going to be a very uneven diamond. So RGOB will have to keep pace with GMC and merge with the standards of GMC. And that is the time that the whole country functions like GMC as of today. So I think these are very important elements. This is how His Majesty wants to take Bhutan to the 21st century through GMC. Because it's obvious that it is to every Bhutanese interest. It is to the interest of His Majesty the King, very obviously, that larger country be kept as it is, or larger country be followed through whatever newer practices that we implement in GMC. I think this in itself is a unique feature, a safety valve that Bhutan has for our future.
I think the convergence, the diamond strategy, in essence, answers the question, how will the rest of the country, the 19 districts of Bhutan, will benefit from GMC? So I think that answers the questions, because at the end of the day, whatever GMC is envisioned to become, that should be the level that the rest of the Bhutan should become, and ultimately the benefit of it. I'll take a few more minutes to end this discussion. You have mentioned it in passing here and there, but if you could answer that directly, what sort of direct impact will GMC have to the rest of the world?
For GMC, it really cannot be answered through 1 + 1, 2. kind of answer. It's not possible.
Yes.
There can be positive impacts, there can be negative impacts. It all depends on how we strategize. RGOB and GMC must synchronize our activities very, very closely.
Yes.
Otherwise, RGOB can be left behind quite badly.
Yes.
Otherwise, RGOB can be, Royal Government of Bhutan can be negatively impacted in the initial phases of GMC.
Yes.
So therefore, I think we need a lot of time to answer this. Immediate direct positive impact. For example, GMC will be a place of very high living standard. Residents of GMC, Bhutanese are currently living there are, of course, the residents of GMC. In future, Bhutanese would like to look for better job, nature or qualities, high-paying jobs. Bhutanese who are actually very sharp innovators can congregate in GMC. Likewise, non-Bhutanese who will come to be GMC residents are the people who actually can afford to stay anywhere in the world. And they chose GMC because it's one of the best places, the safest, the laws are very good. So therefore, they come to settle in GMC. So on that note, GMC immediately becomes an easy market for us. Say, farmers across the country. If they are able to produce the quality of food products that GMC needs, market is now there within our country. Say, for example, we are talking about this, the building phase of GMC. Bhutan, 72% of Bhutan is under forest cover. We could never capitalize on this wealth.
Yes.
We could never capitalize on the timber that we had. Our laws do not stop us from harvesting our forests as long as we do it professionally, which is good for the forest health actually. So now, olden days we used to sell logs to India. Now, if you bring a timber technology, if RGOB can capitalize on that, there's a ready market in GMC. There's no reason why you cannot, why this business will not do well.
Yes.
So therefore, GMC can bring a lot of positive impact on rest of Bhutan.
Yes.
For example, economic impact. GMC will grow very fast.
Yes.
No doubt about that. GMC will bring unprecedented investments. You cannot even imagine. Will bring in next 5-10 years. Thimphu houses almost about 20-25% of Bhutan's population.
Yes.
If RGOB focuses on bringing GMC closer to Thimphu or Thimphu closer to GMC, if RGOB focuses a lot on mode of communication between Gelephu and Thimphu, if this distance can be traveled within an hour, that is the day that Thimphu becomes developed. That is the day that whole Bhutan can be housed in Thimphu Paro Valley. What is the problem with that? So therefore, lots of advantages can actually impact. If RGOB do not follow GMC's footsteps or do not follow the path of GMC that is evolving, then RGOB can be left behind. In which case, His Majesty has given 20 years, is announced nationally.
Yes.
So end of 19th year, when we review, His Majesty can get disappointed. So these are the impacts that we can have on each other.
Leslie, one of the questions that we got online was GMC currently somewhat 60-70,000 people. What sort of strategies are there in mind to bring the population up to 1 million? Of course, investors aside, how will we have the other people to fill the 1 million?
There'll be, there's no one magic bullet to increase the population overnight. That's not possible.
Yes.
But the software elements would be, as I was saying, allow me to repeat, it will be one of the best places on earth.
Yes.
One of the greenest. Air that you breathe in, one of the cleanest, one of the safest. So many people would naturally like to come and settle there. In terms of business investment, it will be one of the most investor-friendly countries in the world, or the place in the world, where through GMC you can do business with the world. Through GMC you can do business in the region. GMC is between China and India, 1.4 billion.
Yes.
And then South Asia and Southeast Asia, which His Majesty keeps repeating. So therefore, there in itself you have a unique selling point. The other features GMC will try to focus, will pay a lot of attention is on spirituality. Will be the epicenter of Vajrayana Buddhism that is already thriving in the country. And then will pay a lot of attention on health. Health will not be a curative health that is given from a concrete building. It will be a good blend of Eastern and Western medicine, good blend of curative, preventive medical practices that we bring about,
Yes.
so-called the mindfulness about it.
Yes.
There will be a lot of focus on academia, a lot of focus on education. So these are the activities that will bring in not just the number but quality. It's okay not to reach 1 million population. It's okay. But if we have the quality of population, nothing like having 1 million number with the quality that GMC intends to bring about.
Yes.
So that's why I think His Majesty gives a lot of attention on the airport, and then connectivity through land. His Majesty keeps traveling that places, both Gelephu as well as the nearing Assam. Recently, just last week,
Yes.
His Majesty was in Jogigoppa.
Yes.
Another huge potential that His Majesty is about to uncover.
Yes.
So this, I think, has opened a golden opportunity for us as Bhutan and Bhutanese, GMC as an institution, and then even India as a whole, as a country, but state of Assam. I think you never know. I feel GMC may bring about more economic impact on Assam than Bhutan.
Yes.
Than GMC as in Gelephu today.
Yes. Yes. One of the questions I quite critical at the moment. All the GMC activities are done in Thimphu, and not much happening in Gelephu. Would you respond to that?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, these are I would say, the strategies, because a lot of happening are happening in Thimphu. I agree with that, and that is by design.
Yes.
A lot of happening. I was telling you that there are a couple of dozens of work streams that are working on GMC. A lot of these work streams are not even in Thimphu.
Yes.
They might be on the other part of the world. CEO and few board members are from Singapore. So on daily basis, our board members are working in Singapore. Main project implementer, MQDC, is Thai-based, Bangkok-based.
Yes.
So every day there's a big office being opened under MQDC umbrella. We have MQDC GMC chapter. So they're working on daily basis there. And then our master planner is in Europe. It's BIG, Copenhagen based. So there's a big chapter with a dedicated project manager, a very, very bright urban planner, architect working on GMC. So that's why I'm saying GMC should be second to none. So when GMC is envisioned to be second to none, it cannot be handled by ordinary individuals. Therefore, it's only right that it is being designed from appropriate places. Gradually, all these workstations will congregate in Bhutan, maybe mostly in Thimphu, a lot in Gelephu.
Yes.
And then on the third phase, everything will congregate in GMC, in Gelephu. That is the time when GMC can be called a full-blown GMC, where everything from A to Z happens within GMC, within Gelephu. So it's only correct that this is by design, by the way.
Yes. I'm sure this must be coming from one of the 60,000 residents in Gelephu. I mean, GMC right now. Would healthcare and education be free in Gelephu after the project is complete?
Yes, for Bhutanese.
Okay.
It's a Bhutanese constitutional right to have access to free healthcare and education.
So,
period. But for non-Bhutanese, no. So the answer is very simple. But the advantages of free healthcare in GMC, because the quality of healthcare, the efficiency of healthcare will have to improve. It has to match global standards. Ultimately, Bhutan should also come up, but unfortunately, we are not able to do it for many obvious reasons. But for GMC, not able to do it, not having resources, not knowing how to do it cannot be the answer. We have to bring up to global standards. So when Bhutanese get free healthcare system from a facility that is of global standard, that is the immediate advantage that people living there will get. So the answer is yes, it will be for free, but it will be of international standard. For non-Bhutanese who come to Gelephu or GMC or become residents of GMC, will not be free. It will be a very good quality at an appropriate cost.
So I guess one of you asked about the taxation system. I guess that was answered. The current businesses will keep on following the laws and practices we have in Bhutan right now, but slowly they have to transition into the new laws that GMC has adopted. I guess that answers that question. So that's all. Any last thoughts from you?
I mean, my duty is to answer the questions. So with limited time, I don't think we have more to add. Only thing I want to put it on the record is, while I said I commented or answered your questions like an authority. I'm no authority on this. All what I'm doing is trying to understand the vision,
Yes,
His Majesty's vision, what is happening at site. And again, on day in, day out basis, every day when I get up, I always ask myself, what new can I do today? What new can I learn today? When I go to bed that night, I ask myself, could I do it? Did I do it? If not, why not? Because I also need to change and ask myself, if I could do it, good. If I couldn't do it, why I couldn't do it? Then see if I could bring the changes tomorrow.
Yes.
So those are the things that I do. I try my best. The biggest advantage compared to many Bhutanese I had was the unique opportunity that I got to serve His Majesty during COVID times.
Yes.
To be like his shadow, I traveled around. I heard him whisper. I heard him shout. I heard him pass remarks casually. Everything was noted. So when I go back and review the notes that I've taken during my time as Prime Minister, that has given me the golden opportunity, because I really don't have to sit in front of His Majesty to listen now, because it's already being repeatedly mentioned. So I think we are going through a unique chapter in Bhutan's history. If you can go through, as you are an expert on that, every monarch has done something amazing for the country.
Yes.
Without those critical steps, we will not be here where we are today. No doubt about that. Our current king, if you analyze in the first 15, 16 of his reign, he had traveled the country, length and breadth,
Yes.
stayed in every household, had ordinary meals from every household, had gone to a Tukhem and had taken maybe a Tsokchang.
Yes.
And say, now you are no more Tukhem. No, he had gone to that extent, and rightfully he earned people's king's title. People's king. Oh, Pa Ngachi Gap. He had been to my house. He knows me. You just have to meet him once, and after that he knows me for life.
Yes.
So rightfully he has earned this title. But being very astute, being so modern, educated, I get a feeling that he will not be happy to be addressed only as people's king or a very popular king of a poor country.
Yes.
I don't think that is what he wants. What he's trying to do is to continue being popular. At the same time, he wants to be a very, very happy king of a uniquely rich Bhutan. That is the time that our people's king, King Jigme, people's king, will be a great king that day. So I think these are major steps that His Majesty the King is taking, like all his predecessors, his fathers and forefathers have taken. Without that unique right step being taken at that particular moment in our history, we will not be here. Without this GMC kind of initiatives, our children will not get to enjoy what we and our parents have enjoyed until now.
Yes.
So I think this is something that we all must keep in mind and follow his footsteps very closely.
Yes.
When the whole world from now on is going to follow him very closely, why shouldn't we as Bhutans follow him?
I guess we as Bhutanese stand in a position with such a major, big, ambitious project on our doorsteps, in a position to make this legacy of a king come true in our lifetime. Dasho, thank you so much for your time, for taking us through not just the blueprints of GMC, but also the deeper intentions behind it. And it's very clear that GMC isn't just about building a place, it's about shaping a way of being. I think that's something that we can take away from this conversation as well. And heartfelt thank you to the Bhutan Global Mindfulness and MICE Holdings for organizing this important conversation and for championing a future where Bhutanese values meet global possibilities. And to all the audience watching us on Zoom and on Facebook and on TikTok, thank you for joining us. It has been quite a long session, but I hope it was worthwhile. Let's keep asking the big questions, important questions. Let's keep staying curious and imagining a future where cities don't just work well, they feel right. So I think that's the takeaway from GMC. So before you go, don't ghost us. QR code will pop up as soon as this the visual of Dasho and I end. You leave your feedback on your thought. It might just take a minute, and we actually read your feedback. So please do leave your feedback. And until next time, stay well, stay mindful, and see you in Gelephu.